How did Deni Avdija go from being mostly a bench warmer to suddenly becoming one of the top prospects for the NBA draft in 2020? Israel, of just under 9 million people in population, has had quite a number of promising basketball prospects. Players like Nadav Hennefeld, Doron Sheffer, Gal Mikel, and especially 11-year NBA veteran Omri Caspi, who finished 23rd in the first round of the 2009 draft. But none of them generated as much excitement as Deni. The 6'9", 215-pound player is ESPN's little number 5 forward in the 2020 NBA draft class. NBA analysts, headhunters, and especially managers who have logged many miles to see Deni play compare him to Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks, an eye-catching Slovenian-born player taking the league by storm in just his second year. But Deni hasn't seen much time on the court with Maccabi Tel Aviv until this past season. But granted, he is also still a teenager, so that's nothing we should be too worried about. Deni Avdija was born on January 3, 2001 in Beit Zara, a small area with a population of less than 600. His father, Zufar, a Muslim Serb from Kosovo, played professional basketball in Yugoslavia in the 1980s. In 1982, he faced a young Michael Jordan when the UNC Tar Heels played an exhibition game against the Red Star of Belgrade. He was called Killer because of his intensity. Zufar brought his talent to the Holy Land in the 1990s and succeeded in playing in the Israeli League. Off the court, he married Sharon Artzi, a fellow basketball player and track and field athlete. With two high-caliber athletes as parents, it's not surprising that Deni turned to basketball early on. He joined the Maccabi Tel Aviv youth team at age 12 and then signed with the professional team at age 16. And it didn't take long for Deni to make his mark outside of Israel. He had dual Serbian-Israeli citizenship. Deni had the option of playing on the Serbian national youth team. It can be suggested that Serbia has actually produced significantly more NBA players than Israel, including Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic and the Vlad Divac Hall of Fame. But at 17, Deni chose to lead Israel's youth national team. Why? Well, for a very 17-year-old reason. Israel is where his friends were. It was the right decision. He began to stand out with his national team, being a very important part of 2 consecutive European titles in the U20 category. He averaged 12.7 points and 6.4 rebounds in the Eurobasket U20 2018 and 18.4 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 5.3 assists in the 2019 edition, from which he left with the MVP, despite having an important age advantage. The 2019 to 2020 season saw him playing 47 games with Maccabi Tel Aviv in the local league. He had a central role and averaged 12.3 points and 5.9 rebounds, while his participation in EuroLeague was much lower, with 4 points and 2.6 rebounds. At the 2018 FIBA European Under-20 Championship, Deni led Israel to gold, but in Maccabi Tel Aviv, playing against experienced professionals, Deni fought his way to the top. In his first 2 seasons playing in Israel's top league, Deni averaged less than 10 minutes played per game, but his gold-winning performance in 2018 at the U20 Championships, they put him right on the NBA scout radar. And with Israel hosting the 2019 U20, Deni took it to the next level in front of the home fans. Not only did he lead Israel to gold for the second year in a row, but he averaged 18 points and 8 rebounds per game on his way to being named the youngest MVP in the tournament's history. From that experience, Deni recalled that winning at home against the nation of Israel, with all the fans there was no higher emotional peak than that. In the Israeli Premier League, Deni began to make progress this past season. He was named Player of the Month in January 2020, averaging 14.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game. He also had his 2 best EuroLeague games in his career in early February, including a poster child for former NBA player Luigi Datome. But when the season ended abruptly because of COVID-19, Deni had to make a choice: stay in Israel or head to the NBA. A projected top pick in the NBA draft, Deni decided it was time for a challenge, playing in the world's best basketball league. Most scouts of the league see Deni's size, undeniable versatility, and height potential as key features that could make him a powerhouse player on the court. His work ethic is what got him noticed in NBA circles as well. After his victory in the quarterfinals of the 2019 European Under-20 Championship against Lithuania, Deni stayed to work on his free throws while his teammates were out celebrating. Stories like that make scouts believe Deni can reach his full potential. But NBA stardom isn't just about talent and work ethic. The best players in the NBA do more than play. They entertain. Deni seems to have that box checked too. Whether grabbing the microphone and singing with Israel pop band on stage, or talking confidently with his older American teammates, Deni seems ready for stardom. The interesting thing about his game is his versatility and comfort with the ball in his hands. Although he is far from being a specialist, he has the conditions to be a solid complementary ball carrier and can put the ball on the field to generate his offense. Once he does, he is a very good finisher, with an interesting ability to turn it over with his unskilled hand, left. He shot an excellent 65% in 2019 to 2020. He is comfortable attacking in transition and flows with the ball in his possession. Beyond what he does as a scorer, one of the most impressive things about Avdija is that he presents a keen ability to get the ball to his teammates, and quickly. He is a sharp and creative assister with good vision. He is a team player who does not usually force bad shots and likes to involve his teammates. He has evolved as a three-point shooter, 28% in 2018 to 2019 and 34% in the current season. He shot a good 36% in 155 attempts of three at FIBA youth level. Defensively, Avdija is solid. His mobility and height gives him versatility, while he excels at protecting the rim, averaging 1.1 blocks per 36 minutes in 2019 to 2020. But what might come of this 2020 draft pick for this young player? Avdija is aiming at the top 5 in the NBA team's youth draft and wanted to continue playing for 2 reasons: to help his team win the title and to have an exposure that can help him move up some more positions in the pre-event rosters. And what better way for them to keep an eye on him than to stand out with a good performance? In the opening of his new phase of the Israeli League, Deni Avdija has been out against Ashad, 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, being the MVP of a game that his team won very well, 114 to 82. In 24 minutes, he made 2 out of 3 in 3-pointers, 5 out of 6 in 2-pointers, and 7 out of 8 in free throws, which is a good endorsement for the next days, because of his importance in the league and as an option in the eyes of the scouters of the American League. Are you also surprised that this young promise arrives at the NBA in such a good position in the draft? Well, clearly you weren't the only one. We hope you enjoyed the video. We post Monday through Friday, so make sure to hit the bell icon to be notified, and don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe down below. Check out these videos.